Cameron and I are talking about the peaks and valleys of entrepreneurship and the many stumbling blocks.
Like, it's just cool to see that you're questioning everything and looking at that number. And I think that's what entrepreneurs need to do, is like always be looking at it.
Claude said the single greatest leverage to increase top line and bottom line is your coconut clubs. If you get them from 2 services to 4 on the year, it adds an extra $1 million in revenue. You already bought the customer, you've already acquired them. The most profitable source for new dollars is from the customers that you've already paid for.
Like, we have to hit that. Yeah. Like, that's what our new completion of Coconut Club KPIs will be. Don't just take it for face value. See, how is this being measured? What is it being measured against? And I think if we would have asked ourselves that question, because we report every single week on that number.
Welcome to the Premium Mindset, the weekly podcast where homegrown entrepreneurs and business owners, Evan Ritchie and Cameron Bodden, share the good, the bad, and the ugly of modern entrepreneurship and reveal what really happens behind the scenes of their personal and professional lives. As owners of 2 of America's fastest growing and most disruptive companies, Coconut Cleaning and Green Mango Pest Control. Stay tuned for real stories, struggles, insight, and advice from real entrepreneurs in real time.
Here's what we're talking about on today's Premium Mindset episode. Cameron and I are taking a deep dive into the focus of lifetime value of your existing customer base. Now, if you are a roofer, you're in air conditioning, I understand that your natural inclination is to say, I do one-time transactions, but the best of the best in terms of people that have accomplished high pinnacles in one-time service industries say, find a way for you to keep annual reoccurring revenue, even if it's $10-15 a month, and every year you come out and you check the roof, whatever it is. But the point is, for Coconut, our bread and butter, let me sell you on the Coconut Club right now. Our bread and butter for coconut cleaning is our Coconut Club. We took the pest control experience of routine maintenance and we said, look, if you get your carpets cleaned once a year, rather than letting them get to this point of how dirty they are, you maintain them. Let's say you do your carpet every 6 months. The EPA says, hey, you should probably have your carpets clean every year. In fact, if you buy carpet cleaning, or if you buy carpet and the floor installation company says, hey, you have a 25-year warranty, let me put you on some game right here. That warranty is only warranted if you got your carpet professionally cleaned at least 1 time a year with a hot water extraction process. And generally, they say every 12 months, and then you take off a month for every person that lives in your house, and that's how often you should have your carpets cleaned. What Coconut does is we say, look, the reason...
Hold on.
Please, go ahead.
If I have 4 people in my family...
Every 8 months.
It needs to be cleaned every 8 months.
Yeah. Like the EPA from a health standpoint, did you know that a carpet in a period of 5 years will more than 8 times in its own weight?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Soil, dirt, dust, dander, all of it, you name it. It's the largest filter in your home. Okay, so what? Oh no, don't do that. So what we do at Coconut Cleaning is we say, hey, you want to get your carpets clean? I get it that you can visually see the traffic patterns and that's what's prompting I need to call someone. However, what if I told you that everything that lives in your carpet, as far as E. coli, soil, fecal matter, you name it, it's everywhere in your house. If you go to the top of your TV right now, if you stand up from watching this podcast and you just dust your finger along the top of the TV, that little gray matter that comes on your finger is thousands of particulates that are comprised of dead skin cells, soil, dirt, dust, dander, you name it, right? So the goal of Coconut Cleaning is to take someone's problems in regard to home hygiene and to help them see a systematic way in which they can keep their home as clean as possible, as long as possible. And we do it through a world-class service of truck-mounted service as well as air duct services. Okay, so that brings you guys up to speed. So when you measure lifetime value of a customer, you take the amount of transactions that they've had with you at any given period. So you can say, what's my LTV on a year, 2 years, if you're on a ARR, annual recurring service, and then you subtract COGS. And then that gives you the lifetime gross profit of a customer. So how much does it take for you to get the customer? It's your acquisition cost. And then you look, how valuable is a customer to me after I pay for them, right? So we're essentially talking about lifetime value. And here's what we found out about Coconut is that when we introduce the Coconut Club to people, it's a newer concept, right? People pay for maid service, pool maintenance, but when they call a carpet cleaner, it's generally because of something aesthetically not pleasing, and they also like the hygiene aspect to it. So we have this beautiful Coconut Club. You get service 4 times a year, and we call them seasonal cleanings. We come out every season, and we can clean as much as you want. You get 50% off. 50% off. You're locked in forever, okay? Another huge feature of the Coconut Club is that for $35 a month, what's the worst thing that can happen when you get a pair of new shoes, Cameron?
A little scuff on them, man.
Little scuff on them, right? So nothing's worse than when a customer finally pulls the trigger, gets the carpet clean, little Billy comes home from school, pulls out his little twist cap Kool-Aid, and just spills it on the carpet. And they're like, I just freaking had that done. Okay.
When your kid gets a bloody nose in the middle of the night, drips to the bathroom.
Exactly. And he's not thinking like, dude, tilt, whatever. Coconut.
I think Banks intentionally like just leans over his carpet.
Just a snot rocket of blood. He's like, they can deal with this tomorrow.
Pretty much.
So you take that exact scenario when you're on the Coconut Club with Coconut Cleaning. We will come out for free and clean that spot or spill. So we had our CFO take all the data for about 3 years, and he said, look, here's just what happens. Coconut Club members see you an average. Let's just keep the numbers whole 2 times a year. So we go to the office. Hey, when you're calling someone. So they said in pest control and in pool maintenance, the reason why those companies are so easy is you can just schedule. You could just schedule.
You're knocking on me. I thought you're knocking on other people.
No, you could just schedule maintenance. Like our pool guy just shows up at 6:15 a.m. or 3 p.m. They just show up, right? Because they go to the outside or it's pest control. You get a little can sprayer and you walk around the house and you spray. Okay, it's super easy to schedule. At Coconut, you have to have the person's consent to come in the house because we're cleaning something inside the house.
Boo-hoo, you get an opportunity to upsell them. Jeez, man.
Yeah. So like we have this huge blessing of interacting with our customers at every occasion. But what happens is life happens. It's a newer concept, newer subscription. So the data shows we service them 2 times a year. Cameron's like, there ain't no way that your office manager, Alec, didn't like raise the alarm that like, hey, we're just not servicing people as much as we want. But here's where we give Alex some grace.
If you're listening to this podcast right now and you're loving what we're talking about, but you're still confused of where to go and how to accomplish it, that's exactly why we started the 1% Club. We go through playbooks that teach you exactly how to do it and when to do it. And so I want you to click the link below that talks about the 1% Club and want you to join with us.
Coconut is like your company. Regardless of Cameron being attached to the brand, it is chaotic. It is great. It sucks sometimes, a lot of times. Techs quit, techs do great, stay here, they wreck vans. It happens, right? But over the period of a few years with loose standards, techs were like getting people to sign up on the club, and they were just saying like, hey, like you don't have to get service 4 times a year because they just thought it made the pitch sound easier. Like it's not commitment, but they'll call you every season and you just tell them that you want to get service the next season. And it's like, so it's this like 10 different contributions to like how it's being presented, how it's being tracked, followed up on. And so when Alex's team calls them and they're like, and they finally get a hold of them, they're like, hey, let's just do it next season. Alex's team's like, okay, sounds good. And I'm like, dude, no. So what Claude said, because we do AI integration here, is it said the single greatest leverage to increase top line and bottom line is your Coconut Clubs. If you get them from 2 services to 4 on the year, it adds an extra $1 million in revenue. You already bought the customer. You've already acquired them. The most profitable source for Yeah, new dollars is from the customers that you've already paid for. So I shared this discovery with Cameron, and the reason why it's premium mindset is I've spent the last 9 years sharing these discoveries with Cameron. I get yelled at, berated for about 5-10 minutes, and then we get into like problem solving mode.
You're such an idiot.
We go to 3 different sides of like, okay, the technicians, this is how you present it. The office, here's a script to like walk people through and reminding them why they signed up and saying, hey, I understand you're busy. Probably caught you at a bad time. Let's just get you set up for this month because it is your seasonal cleaning. Looks like last season we did carpet. Let's go ahead and knock out a couch or 2 or your tile and grout, whatever you do. Like here's a script to like get people reminded of the original pain point they had. So we're doing all that. But does James watch this?
No. Probably. I don't know.
Let's just say that like it's on me 100%. But I was given a metric as far as like the percentage of jobs of coconut clubs that I can book on a given day so that we keep the job average at a higher amount. And that amount was, hey, if you have 10 routes going out tomorrow, only 4 can be comprised of like coconut clubs. And so we've just kept ourselves to that 40% of our job volume needs to be coconut clubs. But here's the catch is that percentage is predicated on bandwidth and our capabilities. So it's like if you add 5 more techs and bands to the pool, that 40% goes down. So what the real True North KPI is, how many coconut club members do we have? What does that look like on a year? How many churn? How many are added on the month? And then it's a rolling number. And if you're listening to this, it's because I'm explaining it so simply and it sounds so logical. You probably look like Cameron right now. But here's the point is that when you have good executives that say, hey, like you can't have more than 40% of your route volume be coconut clubs. So every day when they book the next day, they're like, oh, like if what comprised 40% for tomorrow was, 26 jobs, they book 26 jobs. And if they're done by 2, they do, they do quality calls and they reach out to previous customers. Light bulb, we're following a KPI that gets us the same number every freaking month.
But here's where I just
go ahead.
It's hard for me because in the manager meetings, we would always track a percentage of the clubs that were due that month that we did.
No.
Yes.
We track the percentage of the clubs that we needed to service against service bandwidth. So we'd say, I'm telling you, put a gun to my head. How did I, who's of such a high intellect, just kidding, but that was the percentage we were measuring off of. Was
the percentage of 40, we were measuring what percentage we got
how
of
many
the 40%.
techs do we have, and then what
just doesn't make sense, man.
Cameron, I'm telling you right now, that is what we were doing. And when it clicked, I put out an offer letter for Coconut because I'm like, I don't deserve to run this place. But that is what we were doing. So when we look at the volume of clubs that need to be serviced.
How many clubs do we have?
3,000.
Yeah.
So right now, what James would say, or what is my responsibility, is that the number of clubs that we're booking this month is what would comprise 40% of our route volume. So if we have 15 technicians.
So now are you just like, so what? So now are we going to take 3,000 divided by 12? Was that like what is it, 300 a month?
No. 3. But then you times it by 4.
Oh, 4 times.
Yeah.
What's the math on that?
Okay. So we need to do 1,000.
I mean, I wasn't too far off. I said 300.
That's the numbers. Bandwidth is irrelevant.
1,000 a quarter.
No, but a month.
1,000 a month.
Yeah. So bandwidth is irrelevant to demand creation. You do demand creation first, and then don't do this. You let bandwidth follow.
I don't accept,
You let
like, there's
fulfillment
no
follow.
way this went past you.
I just had an experience with franchisees because Cameron and I are still building a national company, and I was able to illustrate to them how important it is to stay on top of their leads, that before they pass it off to a family member, that they need to have the SOPs that we already have. So it's clear, the stats are out there. Franchising is an accelerator for you to not only start a business, but to be able to grow at a pace that just starting a regular company, you just can't do. So if you're interested in franchising with us at Coconut Cleaning and you want to jump into a system that's ready to go, click the link below, and we'd love to talk to you soon. I've been a little busy the last 3-4 years. Okay. Look, if you guys are like, he's not, I take full responsibility, and it's one of those things that you're just like, how? But if you're out there and like, you're like, Cameron, give him some grace here, which you probably are, is that we have 10,000 little plates that we're trying to balance. And I'm focused on like,
so how many jobs can, how many Coco clubs can a van go to? 6?
5.
5?
Like if they literally went to 5, if they literally went to coconut clubs, 5.
So you need 10 vans just to service our coconut clubs.
Correct.
And we have 14, 18.
18
minus
4,
4.
yeah. It's another
we talked about it, man. 4 accidents in 48 hours. Yeah. We did that just for the hook.
And it's true. My life's a hook. My life's a hook right now. So and
again,
then
going back to data integrity, going back to what you're measuring, the true KPI, that's crazy. We are measuring our what percentage we got of the 40%, not of what needed to happen.
We'd say we have 15 techs that work here right now. Each can service 4.5 jobs per day when it's Coconut Club seasonal initial.
And walk me through, why doesn't the model of a van just takes care of Coconut? I know we tried it on a smaller scale, but like 10 vans, dude, like that's...
But we don't have... That's like routing up to this point, like with... Like we haven't been following it that way. So we've been servicing 400 clubs a month. So when you have 400 clubs a month doing one, or let's say 4 vans, like 4 vans trying to fulfill those, like the drive time was like 3 hours.
Insane.
Yeah. So
do you think we'll go back to that with how many are here now?
Yeah.
It just makes sense, right? Like,
yeah.
Dude,
and we didn't even hire them. We've already hired
maybe
them.
When they're out of the way, put it on another van.
Yeah.
But...
Or we just sell some in West Valley. Just kidding. So, and that's one aspect of Coconut. Then you take leads and you say, what is our throughput on leads? And Bowden says it's 54%. So if Zach hits his lead,
54%, we close 54% of our lead total.
We service
leads.
54% of our leads, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So, but it was 38% pre-Bowden. So Bowden gets it up 16%. And so he's steadily hitting 54%. So again, putting you on some game for floor of compensation is that generally people, when they're paid a base salary, it's like for the production that you've always had. So you got Coconut Clubs out of the way. And then if we reverse engineer our spend in marketing and our acquisition cost, we should hit 1,700 leads. And if we hit 54% throughput, we're servicing 850 initials and seasonals. So 1,000 Coconut Club members, 850 seasonal and initials. Like we need like 24 vans, 23 vans. And then all you have to do right there is just like, okay, good. We're in a good rhythm. Let's put more money onto a good referral campaign. Let's do more money for ads, LSA, whatever. And then like, as long as your ability to fulfill demand creation is there, like you can print money.
Will we have, like 7-week rotation was, I mean, it's down to the week,
yeah.
But like on the quarter, can we be a 6-week rotation with like, as long as it's within that quarter, but within within 2 weeks of the swing.
Yeah.
So if it's like, does that make sense?
Yeah. I brought it up today because I asked James, I said, how we did the 95 to 100% completion of 7-week rotation. Mm-hmm. So what this is going to look like is the people who are getting service 4 times a year, they're probably going to get service 5 and 6 times a year. And the people that are getting serviced 1 or 2 times a year are going to get serviced like 2 or 3 times a year. And so it's taking that formulation of like, here's how many we need to service. And as long as we keep it within 97% of that number, meaning there might be a quarter where we have 103%, and as long as we have 97%, like it offsets whatever.
But like the new KPI measurement is how many coconut clubs we have, and how many, like it'll be measured weekly and monthly, but we have to service that person within the quarter that they like. Everyone has to get service each quarter because that's the arrangement. Yep. So 3,000, 1,000 a month, 3,000 a quarter. Like we have to hit that. Like that's what our new completion of Coconut Club KPIs will be.
Yeah. 9 years later. Entrepreneurship.
Huh.
So.
But I'm just like, but if you service them towards the tail end of Q1 and then they don't answer tail end of Q2, that's going to be a challenge.
We don't reach out to them tail end of Q2. We put in a new system that we schedule them. So even if you get serviced in...
which is kind of like what we talked about, like pre-booking the appointment.
Yep. So they don't get booked in their last week of the last quarter. They get booked in the last service month of the quarter.
If they were...
Yeah, so like 3 months from now, like let's say you're getting serviced on like...
Just say January.
March 25th.
Okay.
The end of, you got 5 days left until the end of Q1. You're getting booked for April, May, the beginning of June. So that way there's some there's 4 weeks.
It's going to get really heavy at the end of each quarter. So
we got
how
scripts.
Are we going to mediate that?
I don't know. That we're kind of working through this now. But we have scripts to deal with, let's just do next quarter. Well, hey, there's going to be a lot of variables that shoot off, but yeah.
Interesting.
And then there's also going to be people that are spot and spill recipients who turn into, well, hey, I'm getting a spot and spill. It's my service month. Let's just do the club. But then they're also going to do a spot and spill the month later because they just cleaned their sectional. Their kid messed it up. And we might just get $200-300 out of them in additional services while we're there for the spot and spill. But they still stay on their, from the end of the service month, regardless of having a spot and spill turn into a little bit more services. So that's going to be nice. Okay. Summary. Summarize this. Go ahead.
I just think it's always important to question everything.
Yep.
Right? Coconut hasn't been in a bad spot. We've been healthy this year.
Yep.
And the fact that you're diving in even more is awesome. So kudos. I know you've taken a lot of heat or responsibility to this podcast, but it's just cool to see that you're questioning everything and looking at that number. And I think that's what entrepreneurs need to do is always be looking at it. And we're seeing it in AI of how important data entry is. And I think as you question everything, you'll see, okay, how, don't just take it for face value. See, how is this being measured? What is it being measured against? And I think if we would have asked ourselves that question, because we report every single week on that number. Yep. That's why when you told me, no, wait a minute, we're reporting on that number and it's a percentage, but we didn't know it was on 40% of the service bandwidth. And so just those little things, we've had 100 of these things happen in business of oh yeah, shame on us. I didn't know we knew. And so what is that thing in your business right now that even if it looks okay, do you truly understand how it's being pulled? And that's one of the things that I'm actually really excited about with AI is once you teach your auditor or your system how to pull that number, one, you understand it perfectly because you have to input the number perfectly for it to spit out the number. And then it doesn't change.
Yep.
And it always gives you that number.
Yep.
Whereas with a human being, or, as the person evolves, they come, they go, maybe they run the report differently. Like that report gets reported differently. And that's what I'm seeing. So, data in your business is so important, because that's the only way where to act and what to focus on.
And that's coming up on the next episode of the Premium Mindset, which is kind of what we're doing with AI, as well as look, if you're looking for real players, real operators who are actually using it, and you want a realistic summarization of our views on it and how we're using it, we're going to share that with you guys, as well as what's to come, not only in the coconut world, but also what Cameron's doing to help solve a lot of headache for small business owners in the AI advent. So track your numbers, question everything, and it's going to be more important now than ever to make sure that your data input is correct, and you don't end up 9 years down the road chasing after a number that gets you the same number in terms of revenue and performance every year.